Hello, boys and girls from Life Center PH, Kingstree in South Carolina, and all kids from around the world. Welcome to today's devotion. If you look behind me, I've got the number 10 going up. If you can figure out what this look like. See the 1 and the 0? 10. Can you count to 10 with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. I'm glad you can count to 10. Isn't that fun? Can you count to 10 in Spanish? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. Maybe you need to learn a little Spanish today, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Well, guess what we're going to be talking about? The 10 Commandments. We've been talking about guarding our heart and everything that we do. Well, God gives us some rules in the Bible found in Exodus 20, verse 3 through 17. And they're 10 basic rules to live by that will help us to guard our hearts from sin. Because isn't that what we want? We want to stay away from sin as much as possible, right? And you say, how do we do that? Well, here are 10 rules. It says, you shall have no other gods before me. That's the first rule. No other gods. God is the only God we worship. Okay? 2, you shall not make yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or on the earth beneath or in the waters below. 3, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord our God, for the Lord will not hold anyone guiltless who misuses his name. Now, I know I'm reading through these 10 commandments. I promise I'm going to break each one down during each devotion, and I'm going to explain what each one means over the next several lessons that we have, okay? Number 4 says, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Number 5, honor your father and your mother so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Number 6, you shall not murder. Number 7, you shall not commit adultery. Number 8, you shall not steal. Number 9, you shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. And number 10, finally, you shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet anything that belongs to your neighbor. That was found in Exodus 20, verse 3 through 17. Now today, you're going to watch a video from Douglas Talks, and he's going to explain the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. God wants to be first in your life. He does not want you worshiping any other gods. And Douglas is going to talk to you about different gods that you can have. Gods like Baal or Buddha or like Muslims and all that. He's going to talk to you about that. But gods can also be anything that you put in front of God. So be sure to put God first today, because that will help guard your heart and it will help you to keep from sin. Okay, so I hope you enjoy today's lesson.
In the first commandment of the 10 commandments, God says, you shall have no other gods but me. Hey guys, it's me, Douglas. And yeah, today I want to talk to you guys about the 10 commandments. Specifically, I want to talk to you about the first of the 10 commandments. Yeah, I'm going to do 10 videos, one on each of the 10 commandments. And today we're going to start on the very first one, which is, you shall have no other gods before me. That's what God said. And in some translations of the Bible, it says, you shall have no other gods besides me. Okay, so basically what it's saying is there is only one God. And that's the God of the Bible. That is our God. He's the only God ever and only. Just God is God. You know, there are lots of other religions out there, other people that they don't believe in God, or at least they don't believe in our God. You know, there's different religions like Islam, and then there was like Hinduism and Buddhism, and really there are a ton of religions, lots and lots of religions, and they all believe in different gods. Some of them believe in one God that isn't our God, and some people believe in lots of gods, and there's just lots and lots and lots of them, but there is only one true God, and that is our God. And we are not to honor those false gods as real gods, even if it might hurt somebody's feelings. There are some people, some places in the world where if you tell them that their God is not real, they might kill you. Yeah, which is crazy, but there are people who are going and telling people the good news about Jesus, about the one true God, even in places where it's very dangerous. So when God says, no other gods before me, he's saying that we are not supposed to worship these false gods, which might seem easy, but sometimes it can be kind of tricky, because sometimes people say things like, well, so long as you're being a good person, that's all that matters, right? So if you're following Allah, which is the name of the God of the Muslims, the false God of the Muslims, if you follow Allah or if you follow God and Jesus from the Bible, and you're basically following the same person. So just so long as you're a good person, that's all that really matters. No, just our God. A lot of people say, and they want you to believe that no matter what you believe, it's okay. It's true if you believe it, but that's not the case. There is one true God, and that is our God. A long time ago in the Bible times, there was a man named Elijah. And Elijah was a prophet of God. He was the last prophet of God because you see, there was this false god that all the Israelites started following. His name was I can never remember how to pronounce it. It's either Baal or Baal. I'm going to call him Baal, but it's Baal, Baal. And so all of God's people started worshiping Baal because everybody else was worshiping Baal, and they thought, well, if everybody else does it, then it must be right? No. See, here's what happened was Elijah had a contest with the prophets of Baal. So he was the only prophet of God, and there were like hundreds of prophets of Baal, okay? And the prophets of Baal and Elijah, they said, okay, so here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to each set up an altar, and an altar was sort of like a table mixed with like an outside fireplace sort of thing. You'd put an offering on it, and you'd burn it, and that would honor God. And some people, they would burn offerings to false gods, and the Israelites, they would burn offerings to the one true God. And so Elijah said, okay, let's both set up an altar, and we'll put a sacrifice on it. And instead of lighting the sacrifice on fire ourselves, we'll ask our gods to light the fire. And whoever's God answers with fire, that is the one true God. And so the prophets of Baal said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And so Elijah let them go first, and they set up their wood, and they set up their offering, and then they all started dancing around and shouting, trying to get Baal to listen to them. And they were screaming, and they were yelling, and because they thought that Baal was way up in the sky and that he couldn't hear them. And so they were dancing, and they were screaming, and they were being as loud as they could to try and get Baal's attention. But they were never going to get Baal's attention because Baal is not real. Baal was just a false god that they believed in. And so they're dancing and screaming and trying to get Baal to listen. And they even were like cutting themselves, trying to get Baal to pay attention. It's almost like, have you ever seen like a little kid throwing a tantrum? Yeah, that's kind of what I imagine. They were trying to get Baal's attention as hard as they could. And it was really kind of messed up stuff. But they went for hours and hours and hours. And Elijah's just sitting there like, so, no fire, huh? Maybe you should talk louder. Maybe Baal is like, maybe he's out shopping or something. Maybe you should leave a message. And so the prophets of Baal, they finally gave up after like a whole day of screaming and dancing and like cutting themselves and stuff. They never heard from Baal. The fire never came and lit the altar. And so then Elijah said, yeah, okay, well, this is a little bit too easy, okay? So instead of just having all the wood and the offering up on the altar, we're gonna douse it with water, lots and lots and lots of water. We're gonna pour water all up over it, and you know what? Let's even dig a trench all around the altar, and let's fill that all up with water. So much water that you could never light this thing if you tried. And so they did it, and he took a step back, maybe a few steps back, and Elijah prayed to the one true God, and he said, God, please show us that you are the one true God. And after he said that, I kid you not, okay, fire fell down from the sky and just went, and it totally obliterated the altar, and it burnt everything up, and licked up all the water. It was just this crazy strong fire, and it even burned up the other altar too. Everything was just boom, fire. And God proved to everybody there that he was the one true God. And he proved that every other God is just make-believe. And so my challenge to you guys today is that we would follow the first commandment, and we would not put any other gods before the one true God, that we would not believe in any of the make-believe gods. And there are also lots of people out there that they don't believe in any gods at all. They believe there's no such thing as a God. But there is, and there is one, and he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And he sent Jesus Christ, his Son, who is also God, to save you from your sins. So let's all follow the one true God.
Go Moses, go Moses, go Moses. It's the Ten Commandment boogie, gonna dance until I die. The Ten Commandment boogie, you can do it, so can I. If you follow it through, you'll be amazed what you can do. So get your groove on with us tonight. We'll do the Ten Commandment boogie, the boogie, the Ten Commandment boogie. Number one, no other God but the one who is true. Don't worship any other, that's commandment two. Number three, use the name of God only with respect. On Sunday, take a rest. We're halfway through with one that's just for you. Listen to your mom and dad, 'cause what they say you gotta do. It's the Ten Commandment boogie, gonna dance until I die. The Ten Commandment boogie, you can do it, so can I. If you follow it through, you'll be amazed what you can do. So get your groove on with us tonight. We'll do the Ten Commandment boogie, the boogie, the Ten Commandment boogie. Number six, don't ever take somebody's life. Seven feels like heaven, but only with your husband or wife. Number eight is great along with number nine. Don't steal from others and don't ever lie. And if your friend has something that you think is cool, don't ever wish that it was yours. And that's the final rule in the Ten Commandment boogie, gonna dance until I die. Ten Commandment boogie, you can do it, so can I. If you follow it through, you'll be amazed what you can do. So get your groove on with us tonight. We'll